And I just choked on oxygen. Hold on. And hey everybody, it's me. Sorry, I totally intended to get like a different video out this week, but then I had like a massive fever and I thought I had coronavirus, but it turns out I just had a stomach bug and a cold at the same time, and all the symptoms combined made me think that I had virus. But I got tested, came back negative, so everything's good and I can get back to trying to record regularly. And I'm well aware that I have never really been regular, except for that like couple of months where I just didn't have friends or a life. So that's not what I want to talk about today. I don't know what's happening. Right. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about something, another kind of obscure thing, but also something that has like a story in my life that I don't think I've told before on this channel. I thought I told it to friends, and then I mentioned it to friends, and they were really confused and slightly disturbed by it, so this is going to be fun. Have you ever like kind of just wondered what the fuck fingernails are? Because I wonder that a lot. Mostly because in my childhood, I was around like 7 or 8 years old. It was like a whole thing. I'm starting to think it may be traumatizing, but I'm not talking about that part of it today. I'm just talking about like what happened and like how it was just weird. So I'm an 8-year-old kid. I've got all these drawings that I made on this like printer paper. I gotta put it up on the wall. So I get a thumbtack. A thumbtack, you know, like one that was like sitting in the drawer of my desk, probably collecting many diseases in its time there. And when I was doing it, I accidentally like stabbed the thumbtack here, just below the like, I think that's a cuticle. I don't know anything about fingernail terminology, but I'm pretty sure it was like just below the cuticle, not on the fingernail. And I was like, ow, that was painful. And then I hung up my drawing and I went about my day. A couple weeks later, maybe like 1.5 weeks later, this weird thing started to happen to this thumbnail, that there was like this infection that started at like the base with this little, where the little white circle is on like underneath your fingernails, that like it's like a little crescent shape and it's all like nice, and it looks nice if you have nice hands, which I don't know what I'm talking about. And what it was doing was the infection was just eating its way up the fingernail. And it was just exposed, but there was fingernail at like the front of my finger, but not like at the back by the cuticle. It was really nasty and it was really gross and very painful. And before I went to the doctor for it, my dad was like, don't worry, I got this. And he got a toothbrush and he was cleaning it with a toothbrush. It hurt very much. And then we went to the doctor and the doctor said, stop doing that. I was very relieved. My mother was very relieved because she didn't like this happening because I was basically screaming my lungs out while he was doing this. So that was good. We just had to clean it with like a washcloth, and basically they said like all you got to do is you need to wait for the nail to completely go off, and then they were giving me like antibiotics, and then your fingernail will grow back. And eventually that's what happened. I was like putting my shirt on. I was still all through my life, it's all been t-shirts, so I'm like pulling my t-shirt on, it snags, it comes all the way off. I freak out. I'm like, great, I don't have a fingernail on this hand. But then the infection went away and the fingernail grew back, and I haven't given it much thought since. Except for the fact that that little like crescent shaped thing I mentioned earlier is like misshapen on that hand. Because like on this hand, it's like, you can't see it in the video. I think you can't see it in the video. It's not good enough quality, but better quality than previous videos on previous cameras. What am I saying? So on this hand, my little crescent thing, which I could look up the name for, but I don't really feel like doing, is like just perfectly shaped, and it's just very pretty. And then on this hand, it's like if someone took a bite out of the crescent moon and then just left it in the sky. Is the moon made of cheese? Probably not, unfortunately. Though there was an astronaut that went to the moon and is allergic to moon dust. Out of 12 people that have ever been to the moon, he is allergic to the dust. That's also not what this video is about. I'm sorry. I did take my meds today. Okay. So that has been a thing. And also sometimes when like, you know, I have anxiety. You all know this. I have anxiety, ADHD, depression, a whole lot of things that I haven't brought up. And like I'll pick at the nails. This fingernail can peel off in layers that doesn't really happen to many of my other fingernails. So I'm like, definitely something fucked this up. And it was probably that time, you know, my entire fingernail just got eaten away by some infection. So that's like thinking about it recently because I have a lot of free time, because to be fair, I have a lot of free time other times. I'm just thinking about other things and or binge watching YouTube videos. But recently I've been thinking a lot about it. What? Just because when I mentioned it to my friends, who I apparently hadn't told this story to yet, they were very disturbed and grossed out. So I was like, what the heck are, like, they're just, what are fingernails? They're just there. And like, I understand, like, evolutionarily it makes sense for us to have fingernails. Like, you can scratch, you can dig, but like, they're not like super strong. And like, if you have like, you know, those like famous people that have like super long, like the most long fingernails in the world, they like curl like hair. So I'm looking it up. I looked it up on Google beforehand because I knew I'd forget to do it in the video if I didn't do it beforehand. I looked up what fingernails are, and it says on Wikipedia, so I'm just going to read from that. I promise I'm not plagiarizing, I'm just reading off of Wikipedia. Also, no one cares because there's 40 people that watch these. A nail is a horn-like keratinous plate at the tip of the fingers and toes in most primates. Most primates, which means to me that there are like monkeys or apes out there, or Bigfoot, that just don't have fingernails or toenails, which is a very upsetting thought, and I would really like to not dwell on that. Nails correspond to claws found in other animals, so it's like claws on like a dog or a cat or like a fucking sloth. I don't know why I went to sloth. I like blanked on all animals and settled on sloth. Fingernails and toenails are made of a tough protective protein called alpha keratin, which is found in the hooves, hair, and claws and horns of vertebrates. Keratin. What is keratin? What is this? Why is it like this? What is keratin? Keratin is one of the family of a fibrous structural proteins known as, I can't pronounce that word. So fingernails are basically just like firm hair on the end of your hands, which is actually really upsetting, and I kind of wish I didn't know it, but I did. Hi, Cyrus. My roommate, Cyrus. I'm not filming in my room today because he is unpacking because we finally got a dresser, and he's valid for it. He can't hear me, he has headphones on. So I know this now. I know that fingernails are firm hair, and that is upsetting to me, but I'm still telling you this because I don't want to be alone in my pain and misery. So basically, that's just a fun little anecdote that I wanted to share, and then I wanted to give you some facts, some cursed knowledge today. That's definitely why people watch these videos, just to get cursed knowledge. To be fair, I say a lot of cursed things, but not as if I ever have our other roommates in a video, you'll understand that I'm really not as cursed as I could be, and they're slowly corrupting me, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I kind of want to stop talking about fingernails for the rest of my life because I'm highly disturbed by everything Wikipedia just told me. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed learning this cursed nugget of information, and I hope you don't unsubscribe. I hope you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you can click subscribe down below or in a bubble up here. You can comment in the comment section, who'da thunk, and you can see my last video also on the screen. That's everything for today, so yeah, hasta la pasta. I'll see you next.